Hey, what is up, you guys? Mr. Opacity here, and in this gameplay, I'm using the ACR silence, using the assault package, using Predator Missile, Reaper, and Assault Drone. I don't get, I barely get any kills whatsoever with the kill streak, so most of the game is just gun gameplay. And I also sped up the Reapers in anyways, since I only got like 3 or 4 kills with them. So don't worry about it. It's gonna be an exciting gameplay. I hope you guys enjoy it. And there's a tiny bit of lag because I was recording it in theater. So yeah. This video is all about criticism, how to take it, how to accept it, what not to do when being criticized, self-criticism, and other things. Okay, so yeah. Where do I start? Okay, let's start off with saying that something really important when it comes to criticism or anything, basically, and on the fucking planet, is that 93, and listen to this, 93% of all, like, basically conversation, and you can't see my quotation, like my whatever it's called, my fuck, I don't even know what they're called, whatever. You can't see my sarcasm marks, okay? Okay, so yeah, conversation is all done. 93% of it is not done verbally. 93%. Imagine what I'm doing right now is part of my 7%. The other 93 you can't see. You can't tell if I'm smiling or frowning or pissed off or anything. You could probably tell by the tone of my voice, but you can't tell. That's why I'm saying 93% is all done by expressions, by face, by motions, anything. So yeah. So what does that have to do with criticism? I'll tell you exactly. When being criticized, you don't want to fight back. You don't want to be so defensive that it automatically just starts a huge argument with the person, and they already seem to fucking start yelling at you and just seem and this just brings out the cycle is that both of you seem to think that you're right, and it just becomes a huge and stupid argument. Believe me, you're not gonna gain anything from it. Both of you at the end are just gonna think, oh wow, what a fucking idiot, I'm right. And if it's your friend, you're probably gonna that relationship is probably gonna hang on a loose string with your friend, and you're not gonna want that, if it's especially if it's a really close friend. And that almost happened to me the other day, and that's why I'm making this commentary. My friend and me were having a discussion on the Trayvon Martin case. I think he heard my commentary, I'm not sure. But he goes, so yeah, you know that thing where you said that Trayvon scratched Zimmerman to get him off? I'm like, yeah, what about it? And he goes, no, man, he punched him. He definitely punched him and shoved his face into the ground. I'm like, who told you that? And he goes, well, Zimmerman said it. Zimmerman said it in the trial. And I'm like, yeah, I remember that, but everything that Zimmerman has said up to this point has been a lie. So why would you even believe it? And he goes and holy shit, we just went fucking like firecrackers. We went fucking all at it. We started fighting. I think to the point where just I didn't I just want to fucking punch him in the face. And it's so bad. That's why when he was criticizing me, and I was being defensive, and I shouldn't have, because that's what led up to the fucking firecracker explosion argument, which is never something you want to be in, because everyone's gonna lose, believe me. All right. So yeah, and you don't want to do that. When instead of that, you want to be like, oh really? You should have done what I did at the beginning, but then led on to something bad. You should have been like, oh really? Where'd you hear that? I'm actually really interested. That's pretty cool, and whatever. And yeah, that's how you do it. You want to be curious. You want to basically pretend like you care. At least that's what I put it. That's what I see it as. You want to pretend like you think they're right when you're in your mind, and you know that you're like, fuck them. I know I'm right. Like whatever. Cuz that's how your brain thinks. At least for me it does. Other people are wired differently. But I know most people their brains think like that. So yeah. And then now I'm going to talk about self-criticism, which is something that hurts or benefits a lot of people in this world. And self-criticism, if you don't know what that is, I mean, I guarantee you self-criticize yourself at least 2 to 3 times a day, minimum. Me, 10 to 12 times a day. Okay? And yeah. When you self-criticize yourself, you basically see yourself as a lesser person, or in this case just something worse than what you really are. Like one time I was talking to my friend, I'm like, I don't like my haircut, it looks like shit. And he goes, yeah, it kind of does. And I'm like, but wait, you just criticized me after I self-criticize myself. That's not fucking normal. Usually you support me. And it's just self-criticism is so funny because it's so stupid and it's so confusing that nobody really has good like options or good like anything good advice to give you when you self-criticize yourself. Their best advice is stop doing it, but in your head you're like, how can I stop self-criticizing myself when all I think about is how to make myself better as a person or how I look and in any way. And that's why self-criticism comes out when you try to be the best person that you could possibly can, and that takes a lot. That takes a lot of hard work and that takes a lot of pain to get there. All right, believe me, I've tried. I criticize myself all the time, and then when I get really defensive when I'm not. So yeah, um, the real point is that don't self-criticize yourself. And then I'm kind of jumping off topic, but I'm not jumping off topic, but jumping to the ending of this because the video is about to end in like 30 seconds. So um, yeah, don't self-criticize yourself. Try your best not to. I mean, I'm trying the last couple of weeks. I'm trying not to. It's kind of working out, not really, but whatever. I'll keep practicing. What else? Don't be defensive when you're being criticized because that will just lead to fucking terror, World War II in your fucking brain. Yeah. Um. Don't just shut up. Just when someone's arguing with you, just shut up. Pretend like you care. Pretend like you think they're right. And remember that 97%, I mean 93% of all communication is not verbal. So I hope you guys enjoyed the commentary. Mr. Opacity out.